MockLink TV and MockLink Internet, online at mpw.org. Each weekday morning, our local talk segment brings you the people who are helping move our community forward. Let's start the show.
Good morning, AM 860, FM 95.1, KWPC. I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for tuning in with us here this morning for Moving Forward. As always, brought to you by Muscatine Power and Water. Right now, turn it on for $10 off. And when you turn on MockLink Internet, TV, and or phone services, you get $10 off each for 3 months. That's a $90 savings on 3 services for 3 months. Details at mpw.org. Again, I'm Jordan Davis. I'm joined by Nichole Sorgenfrey this morning. Hi, Nichole. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing excellent. We're so excited to have you in, and we're excited to talk about an event coming up this Saturday, and it's one that I remember from last year that was actually really cool. We gathered a few supplies. It's Stamping Out Hunger coming up this Saturday, right?
Correct. So Stamping Out Hunger is always the second Saturday of May, and this is a national food collection in their U.S. Post Office in connection with the United Way of America. And it is the longest one-day collection.
Really?
Yeah.
The longest one-day collection. I didn't hear that last year. So what does that mean? The longest one-day collection.
So we typically start at around 7:30 and go till almost around 7 o'clock, and we collect.
Wow.
Last year in Muscatine, we collected 10,000 pounds of food. So we're hoping to beat that a little bit this year. This has been going on for 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah.
And you said it was nationwide, right?
Right.
That's crazy. So that's a lot of... So it's essentially there's the folks from the post office pick up the supplies, the donations as they're running their route on Saturday, right?
Right. So a couple of years back, we actually partnered with the Scouts. So the Scouts have always done something called Scouting for Hunger, or I can't remember exactly what it's called. Anyway, so they will actually be helping us in the morning, and they're going to go out and pick up the bags. So the way you participate in this is that you just put a bag or a box of non-perishable food items. So that could be a bag of the instant mashed potatoes, It could be rice, it could be beans, canned vegetables, canned fruits, anything along those lines, cans of tuna, chicken. Put it in a bag or a box. Put it down by your mailbox, and the Scouts will be out in the morning to help pick that up. And what they can't get, the post carriers will get the rest.
Okay, gotcha.
So they all bring it back to the post office, and then we take it and we'll transport it. All of the food that is collected that day is shared in between the Muscatine Food Pantry, which is located at MCSA, and our Salvation Army.
Okay. And a lot of those items, especially rice, that's not a big cost to set out, and it goes a long way. Those big boxes of like minute rice, those last forever.
Yeah.
So those are great donations to make, and it's so. I mean, how much easier can it be than setting it outside your door?
Right. You can pick up, $5 worth of extra food this week when you're buying your groceries and put that out. Or you can just go through your cupboard and be like, I bought this a couple months ago and I still haven't used it.
Yep.
I'll just put that out, know.
And there's so much, and even I don't buy a whole lot of canned goods and stuff, but when I do, it's like it sits in the cupboard for a little while. So why not just set it out and hope help out a family in need.
Right. Because, canned soups, my children love a can of soup for lunch or, on a quick lunch during the wintertime, but we'll just pull those out and put those out with the post office right for the drive, so.
That's perfect. And folks, it would surprise you how big of a difference it makes when you give to something like this, because it's going to go to that food pantry. What the food pantry is going to do is they're going to work with families that are in need to get them the food that they need, to put a meal on the table at night, because it is tough, because that's one of the. Would you say that you and I have talked about like the tiers of what's important to folks when they're struggling with paying for stuff? So where would you say that lands?
So if you're a parent and you have a couple children at home and you're struggling to make your rent payment and your gas and electric and all that, and sometimes your food, your grocery budget gets cut, that hurts. You see your child and they're hungry and that they really wanted to have grilled chicken tonight, but we have to have tuna noodle casserole because that's what we have and we can afford. Those are hard. They pull on your heart and they hurt. Nobody wants to see a child hungry. So there's lots of statistics. If a child is hungry, they have trouble concentrating in school. They're tired. They're more likely to get illnesses. So we really try to target that and make sure that families, and it doesn't have to be a family that falls below the poverty line. United Way has done the Alice study, which that is families who are working families and are struggling. Yep. So your grocery bill always is the one that gets cut because of that.
Right. And so it's not just so it's non-perishables for this drive, but I know that during other times of the year, eventually a lot of folks are going to be having leftover produce too. So I'm sorry to draw away from that, but aren't there ways to give that way too?
So we have a couple different programs that United Way has partnered with ISU Extension and Outreach. So it's called Plant an Extra Row. So if you're planting your garden now and you're like, I have room, I'm going to plant a couple of tomatoes and a couple of green peppers, and then you can take those and donate them to the food pantry. And then that helps us give out fresh produce.
Yes, which is so nice to be able to put on the table.
But also, when you're harvesting your gardens, if you have too many zucchinis or tomatoes that week and you're like, I'm not going to be able to do anything with them, you can take them down to the food pantry and we'll make sure that somebody will take them and use them.
That's great. That's awesome. I wanted to mention that now because now is the time the year people are thinking about putting in gardens. I know, let's see, we put up hog paneling 2 weekends ago, I think, just to get ready for putting in tomatoes in the next couple weeks, something like that. So it's definitely on its way. So be thinking about that, folks. If you want to plant an extra row, or if you know that you're going to have extra, just be ready to bring them over to the United Way, right? That's the best place?
Correct.
Okay.
So there's 2 different ways you can volunteer for this. One, make sure you put out food for the post office or for the scouts to pick up. But 2, we're needing volunteers in the afternoon to help get the food back to whichever pantry it's going to go to and then help sort it and put it away.
Gotcha.
So if you're available for a couple of hours on Saturday afternoon, we're looking for volunteers from about 12:30, 1 o'clock till almost 6. If you have a couple hours and you want to volunteer, you can call our office at 563-263-5963 and let us know, or you can just show up at MCSA. That's where we'll need the largest bulk of volunteers.
Gotcha.
To get that food there. We have volunteers that will help bring it down for us from the post office, but that's where we'll need some volunteers as well.
I see. Okay, so this is all part of Stamping Out Hunger that's coming up this Saturday. It's right around the corner, so get ready for it. So all you need to do is set out a couple of things right outside your front door. Any non-perishables.
Right next to your post box.
Post box, that's it. Right next to your post box. So set it right out there, and they're going to pick it up, either the Boy Scouts or the mail carrier themselves.
Right.
Can pick them up. That's awesome. What a cool thing. What a really great way for folks to be able to easily get involved and make a difference right here in Muscatine. So appreciate you coming on and tell us about it, Nichole.
Well, thanks for having us.
Well, before we go, is there anything else you want to mention? United Way is always busy.
I'll be on next week, so I'll
You're
fill
right,
you all
will
in.
be, won't you?
All
Excellent.
the other United Way fun things that we're planning right now for the summer.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much to Nichole for joining us this morning here for Moving Forward. As always, brought to you by Muscatine Power and Water. If you're not hooked up to MockLink Internet, TV, or phone services, turn it on for $10 off. And when you turn one on and get $10 off for 3 months, save even more when you bundle 2 or more. Details at mpw.org. Again, I'm Jordan Davis. Thanks for tuning in with us here for Moving Forward on KWPC and thevoiceofmuscatine.com.
You've been listening to Moving Forward on the Voice of Muscatine, KWPC, AM 860, FM 95.1. Thanks to our sponsor, MPW Digital TV and MockLink Internet, the local providers at mpw.org. And remember, Moving Forward, each weekday at 8:15 to learn how Muscatine is on the move.
Start it up.